Hello lovelies, it's Miss Lady Lace here on my Pinup Glamour channel and Pinup Glamour podcast, and today I'm sharing 8 fabulous tips for dyeing your hair at home yourself. If you're a long-time glamorous friend, welcome back, and if you're new here, I share tips and tutorials on pinup, burlesque, and the vintage lifestyle, so if you love any of these things, be sure to subscribe. Today I'm sharing some tips for dyeing your hair at home yourself, and I've been thinking about this video for a little while as I do very regularly get asked questions about how I maintain my hair color. I'll be creating a few different videos on this topic, so the first one is going to be some tips, the next video is going to be how to maintain that color, and I'll probably share some other videos around the subject, and I may even trial a few different types of hair dye and give some reviews here on YouTube. I've had my signature red hair color since I was probably about 17, so it's been a long time I've been rocking this color. I'd love to know in the comments below, do you have a signature hair color? Or if you don't, if you could have a signature hair color, what would that color be? We'll now get into the fun part of our video, and I'm going to share 8 tips for dyeing your hair at home. Tip number 1 is products. You really want to find a product that works best for you. At the moment, I'm utilizing 2 different products that I use within a 4 to 6 week period. What colors I use are definitely something I get asked about all the time, and for the main color I'm using, I don't actually have a preference at the moment. I've just been utilizing a cheaper box dye that works for me. What I'm using now for the bulk of the color isn't something I would usually recommend, but if you are looking in a store at hair dye, definitely find something to suit you. I'm naturally blonde, so I have quite light roots that come through, so I'm looking for a product that can do both roots and ends all in one go for my big dye that I do every month or so. And I've been going a deeper shade of red just because I'm liking that really dark and glamorous look, and I also find that lasts a little bit longer as darker does take longer to get lighter. After about 2 or 3 weeks, I do like to do a top up with a direction hair color, and I have been using this one here. It is Brite, and you can actually get this from Kmart for like $9 a bottle, so this is really fabulous. I have tried dyeing my whole hair with this, and I find it's not as good on the roots, so I find this is just nice to get that really bright red in between dyes. When it comes to the products you're using, definitely do a patch test, definitely follow all the instructions that are given to you, and anything else relevant to achieving that look that you desire. Tip number 2 is to have a setup. I have a beautiful vintage style bathroom, and I don't want to get red hair dye stains everywhere, so I wouldn't just put down a bit of newspaper. I like to make the room look like Dexter is about to go in there. So I take a couple of these plastic drop sheets. I just got these from Bunnings. But any plastic drop sheet that you buy from any store will definitely be suitable. Just make sure you cover anything important that you don't want to have stains. With my setup, I also want to ensure I get all my tools and cleanup equipment ready to go too. Tip number 3 are the tools you'll need. So I have all the basic things. All of these items I've either bought from Kmart or the reject store, but I'll have my hair dyes all ready to go. I will have some hair ties and dividing combs to divide up my hair. I'll have a comb so I can brush through that color as I go. And I will have a little pot and application brush to put on that nice and easily to my hair. I'll also have all my cleaning tools ready to clean up after I've finished. And I also have some paper towels, so if I touch anything or need to wipe anything off my face, it's just there ready to use. Tip number 4 is to have a speaker or phone in the area. That way you can listen to something fun while you dye your hair. I like to have my little portable speaker, and I like to listen to my true crime podcast while I get my hair done. If you have any favorite true crime or horror movie podcasts, do let me know in the comments below, as I'm always looking for more suggestions. Tip number 5 is to section out your hair. Before I get started with anything, I create some large sections that'll just help me narrow down the way I'll be working. So I split my hair directly down the middle, and I take 2 side parts going down, and on either side I then have 3 sections going through the back. I will subdivide these further as I go, but I find this is just an easy way of breaking it down a little bit more to make it a little bit quicker while I'm dyeing my hair. Tip number 6 is to have an old robe. You can simply use an old one that's become a little bit ratty as it's got older, or you can find one at a local thrift or op shop and upcycle that to be used while you dye your hair. I simply put this on and I try and wrap that up as firm as possible so I'm covering any important areas while I dye my hair. When I'm done, I can simply just chuck that robe in the wash, and if there's any stains, it doesn't matter because this robe is mainly for anything messy that I do, like dyeing my hair. Tip number 7 is the method of application. So do follow the instructions that your product has. For me, as I dye my hair and I'm using the instructions I have, what I like to do is I do those 2 front sections first, as that way that's where I'm going to be most careful, as I really want to get that dye perfectly applied around the front of my face so I really cover up all those roots. I also like to work from bottom to top. This way I just need to section that out, I put the dye on, then all the icky stuff is at the bottom. If I do the top first, I then have to keep moving bits of dyed hair across my head, and I find that's more often or not where transfer will happen from things flopping where I don't want them to be. So I'll do side section 1, 2, I'll do the back section working up, and the other back section before allowing that to process. And my final tip is to clean up as you go, and definitely don't leave a pile of dirty items somewhere where they will stain another item. So what I like to do is I dye my hair. Any of the equipment I've used, I then take that off, wash that off. I pack away all the plastic tarps and put them in a bin bag that I have nearby. I'll ensure there's no dye that has got on anything. And this is all while that hair dye is really soaking in. I'll then go and wash that off. And as soon as I've done that, I clean out the shower straight away. I give that a scrub. If there's any marks, I take a bit of bleach to that and get those marks out straight away. I have a white bathroom and white tiles, and as you can see, there are no stains in this area. I try and maintain that really well so I don't leave any red hair dye in this area. By being proactive with your cleaning, it's both going to make the process a lot easier and also prevent any damage that you may cause to any of the areas that you've been in. These have been my 8 tips for dyeing your hair at home. If you have any of your own tips or any product recommendations, do let me know in the comments below, and if you'd like to see more videos in this series, also do let me know there too, as well as any videos you'd like to see on this channel. I truly hope you've enjoyed today's tips. If you have, be sure to give this a like and a comment, as that really does help me out. If you'd like early access to these videos and exclusive content, I have my Glamour community up on Patreon. I'd like to thank all my patrons, but especially my VIP Glamour patrons and Burlesque Glamour students. The support you give me truly helps me in creating more here on my YouTube channel and podcast. For my daily pinup adventures, I post super regularly to Instagram and TikTok. Simply follow @MissLadyLace and be sure to drop me a message so I can follow you back too. To never miss out on one of these uploads, be sure to subscribe, and I'll be seeing you all soon. Don't forget to stay glamorous.